We'll continue to use the Burton and King article about the health benefits of writing as an example. We'll start by looking at the discussion section, beginning on page 159 of the article. We can come back to the idea of guiding our reading by focusing on the purpose, goal, research question, and/or hypothesis. That means we can focus on a pretty small portion of the information, as highlighted in this slide. Your notes on the article summary template should include at least the information included in the example in this slide. Remember that Burton and King's goal and hypothesis were related to positive writing, mood, and physical health. They predicted that writing about intensely positive experiences, IPEs, would result in enhanced positive mood after writing and decreased health center visits for illness. The first highlighted segment addresses the first portion of the hypothesis and indicates the hypothesis was supported. Writing about positive experiences was associated with enhanced positive mood. The following sentences add details related to that finding. The second portion of the hypothesis is addressed in a way that might be a little more confusing in the highlighted segment that says we did find health buffering effects for writing about IPEs. If that didn't jump out at you, you could have gathered the same idea from the other information I highlighted. In some articles, the writing in the discussion section does not make the actual results as clear, which means the authors and editors weren't consistent with APA style. Even when we find the information in the discussion section, it can be interesting to look at the related section in the results. In either case, it can be helpful to note that the authors sometimes use signal words or phrases when they present the statistical analysis in the results section. Using the find function in the electronic file allows you to search for those signal words noted above in this slide. Note that the find function will find those strings of letters within a larger word, so using predict will also find references to predictions, and so forth. Searching the Burton and King article for the signal words does generate a number of matches. Keeping in mind that we're interested in the results helps us narrow our focus to results on page 156 and later, where the results and discussion section are located. Skimming the section with the sentences where the results were found, though, does not add to what we found in the discussion. Now we'll look at O'Hare and Scher. Locate the necessary information in the article, pausing this slide if need be. O'Hare and Scher provide an example of an article that doesn't place the summary of the results early in the discussion. As you might have noticed, they don't really summarize the results anywhere in the discussion. Hopefully, before you were too frustrated, you used the keyword search and discovered that they place the summary of the results at the end of the results section. That information may have even caught your eye without a keyword search. In finding the focus, we noticed that noted that they were interested in substance abuse and stress in college students, and particularly women. The highlighted information represents the key results. Your notes on the article summary template should include at least the information included in the example in this slide. Hopefully, the strategy for thinking about the results makes it a little less overwhelming and helps you think about what we know from the articles. It can be a little frustrating to realize that we have pages of text that can be summarized in a couple of sentences. Keep in mind, though, that's because we're reading with a specific purpose in mind. In addition, without all the other information, we should question the credibility of the knowledge we can draw, as it provides the underlying logic. We might think of it as being like eating a banana. Sometimes the peel is as heavy or bulky as the part we actually eat, but we wouldn't want to eat the fruit if that peel was any less substantial. Similarly, we use that peel as an indicator of the quality of the fruit. We expect different things depending on the color and the texture. So, focusing on the purpose, goal, and question, or hypothesis, helps us peel away the information that's important and contributes to the quality of what we know, but isn't the takeaway message. Sometimes the authors summarize the information in the discussion in a way that makes it pretty straightforward to find the knowledge, but sometimes it's a little more tricky, like when the top of the banana doesn't want to break away. Then we use the signal words to help us get to that knowledge.